as you dimple in the dough, it kind of pushes the gas to the top, and look.
Amazing bubbles. So once again, with like the sensory play, it's just the most satisfying texture.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm the owner of Sarah Sourdough in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
I'm Amber, owner of Even Grow Sourdough in Fork and River, New Jersey.
And I'm Lisa, and I'm the owner of Dough and Dirt Bakery in Mission Viejo, California.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and make some breakfast focaccia. So it's just simple ingredients. If you know how to make like an original sourdough loaf, you know how to make a focaccia. It's beautiful. All it is flour, salt, water, olive oil, and your sourdough starter. Let's go ahead and mix the wet ingredients first. So go ahead, Amber.
Yes.
The water, olive oil, and starter.
And this is just regular room temperature, filtered water.
Add your starter.
Adding the wet ingredients first will also just make sure everything's incorporated nice.
We're gonna mix this up by itself till it becomes kind of like a milky texture. So that way, when we add the flour, the wet ingredients are already incorporated.
It's like a dance, the way you're doing that.
This is always
like so delicate.
I try not to make it spill out. Yeah.
Okay, and so now it's like a milky texture. It's nicely incorporated, and it's time for the flour and salt.
And it doesn't matter if you add the salt in this process. Focaccia is so easy and forgivable, whereas sometimes with like a regular loaf, you add the salt later. But this, you can just mix it all up and let it do its thing.
So easy.
Yeah. So when you're mixing, you just want to make sure that there are no dry bits left. So incorporate all the flour.
It like takes a while for the water to...
Yeah. You're probably going to be hand mixing for about 2 minutes.
And I promise it will all come together. It looks like a shaggy mess right now, but it's going to become this nice cohesive dough.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the bread making process. Like how it can come from this to the end product is magical.
And as long as you have like a bowl or a bin like this, you can make focaccia so easily. There's really no need for like super special equipment. And yeah.
Okay, so we're going to let this rest for 30 minutes, and then we'll do our first stretch and fold.
So now that our dough has rested for 30 minutes, we're going to do our first set of stretch and folds.
Yes, so with bulk dough, what I like to do after that initial rest is go in and mix again a little bit, like to massage it a little bit. Wet your hands so that your hands don't get so messy. But massaging the dough a little bit, it just helps incorporate the flour even more.
Now that the dough has rested, it's so much easier to start incorporating things.
You can see the difference already. The flour is getting hydrated. So we're going to do that first stretch and fold. What you need to do, grab one edge of your dough. You're going to stretch and fold it over. You're going to do that on each side.
And you can see the elasticity that has been already built up in the dough just from the first stretch and fold.
Stretch and fold it over.
And the reason for the stretch and folds is to strengthen the dough and make it easier to work with.
Yeah. It's already starting to fight me, so it's getting strong. See? It's fighting me. It's like, no, don't stretch me anymore. And that means that we need to let it rest again. So we'll give that another 30 minutes, and then we'll show you guys how to do some coil folds.
So now the dough has rested for another 30 minutes, so it's time to do our second set of folds, and this time we're going to do a coil fold.
Yeah, so you want to wet your hands again, wet your fingers. And what you're going to do, you're actually going to grab it from the middle and bring it up toward you. And again, it's the same thing. You're stretching it and you're folding it over. It's a coil fold, but it's kind of folding over onto itself. See that? And now I'm going to actually make sure to get just that underneath. Okay. And then same thing. So you're going to turn it and then fold it under itself.
And you can see the dough is already starting to smooth out.
Yeah.
Even more than just that first stretch and fold. Now we're getting a really cohesive dough here.
It did start to tear a little bit, which means the dough's trying to tell you, hey, I need a minute to relax again. And so we're going to let this rest for another 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll do another set of stretch and folds.
We're doing 3 coil folds today, but you can do up to 5.
So we've let it rest for 30 minutes, and we need to do another coil fold. You can see how the dough has just completely transformed as well. Do you remember the shaggy mess from before?
And you can start to see the little fermentation bubbles coming up.
So the starter is working, and I'm going to get your girls help again with this. Bim, here we go.
And you can smell it. It smells sour. It just, the fermentation is going wonderfully.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to...
And the way that it like pulls away from the bowl or from the bin so much easier is a good sign. Way easier. And I'm just going to do that. And yeah, honestly, this is just beautiful. So the dough looks amazing right now after our 3rd coil fold. And so we're going to cover it and put it in the fridge overnight to cold proof.
Okay, so we have just let the focaccia dough cold proof overnight. Now we're going to stretch it out on the tray, and you need to put oil on your pan. Yeah, just do like a lot. Like you want to drench it in oil.
It gets so much flavor just even from sitting in the olive oil. It was amazing.
Yeah, and then dump it in.
Oh, look how bubbly it already is. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
it's so beautiful.
Stretch it out gently. All about team effort.
It works good.
It doesn't have to be perfect edge to edge because this is going to relax and
it's going to fill in the space.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it like that and let it proof a little bit longer.
It's time to prep our ingredients for the breakfast focaccia. We have bacon and onion here.
And we're going to top it with just a little bit of olive oil, mostly just on the onions because the bacon on the bottom is going to render its fat and also cook the onions on top, but we're just adding a little bit so it doesn't burn too much.
Yeah, and then some salt and pepper just for flavor. This, by the way, is not a low-calorie breakfast food.
It's just good
Brunch
for the
food.
soul food.
Yeah. Go ahead and put pepper on that. Okay, I think that's good.
Okay.
All right.
Pop it in the oven.
Yeah, let's get it in the oven.
Good. So we are going in at 425, straight into the Simply. It already smells amazing.
Okay. How long are we baking this for?
30 minutes.
Okay. The focaccia has rested for an hour at room temperature, and it's time to put our toppings on and bake it.
So first we're going to go in with some extra virgin olive oil, and you're going to coat the entire thing. And this is going to give the focaccia that nice crispy top, and the olive oil is also on the bottom, so it's going to be nice and crispy on the bottom as well.
And time to get the toppings out. Bacon and onion.
God, it smells so good.
Put a little olive oil in your hands so the dough doesn't stick.
And then this is the fun part.
That's fun.
You just get to dimple that dough. And why do we do this, Lisa?
So we're dimpling the dough so it creates little pockets of air in the focaccia. So then when it bakes up, it bakes kind of around where you're dimpling. So it creates this really, really bubbly and like soft texture in the dough. And also it creates like a space for all of your toppings to like sink into. And so it's just, every bite is just amazing and full of flavor.
Yeah, and you'll see it as you dimple in the dough. It kind of pushes the gas to the top. And look, it's just...
amazing bubbles. Once again, with like the sensory, it's just the most satisfying texture.
So time to put our toppings on. We have cheese and then onion and bacon. I'm so excited. And some parsley.
And you can use any cheese. We're using a cubed white cheddar, but like a Parmesan would be great. Really just like make it your own. And if you want, you can kind of like push it in a little bit or just leave it on top and it'll sink into the dough.
Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the onion and bacon.
And the onions cooked in that bacon fat and the olive oil, so they're really soft and caramelized, and the bacon is nice and crispy, so it's a great blend of textures. And the fact that all of it was done in the same oven is just amazing. And you can chop the bacon up too if you want to, but it's kind of fun to leave it nice and whole. It makes for a really nice presentation.
Okay, yeah. As you do that, I'm just going to put on some garnish. And then you want to top it also just with some salt for some extra flavor.
And we're using a flaky sea salt, so that way it also has a little bit of texture. And you just go over the whole thing.
This looks so good. I'm so excited to eat it.
And, you know, just measure with your heart when it comes to the salt. It gets ready to go in the oven.
Okay, so you bake that at 425 for like 35 to 40 minutes or until just golden brown and bubbly. The focaccia has been baking for about 40 minutes and it is ready. So let's go ahead and get it out of the oven. Let's get that out. Oh my gosh, guys. This looks beautiful.
All the toppings are crisp, the cheese is melty, it's bubbly. Cannot wait to dig in.
I know you want to dig in right away and eat that, but it does need to rest for another like 20 minutes before you cut into it. The dough is still baking, and so I promise it's worth it. Wait 20 minutes. We've been letting it cool for about 20 minutes now, and it's looking really, really good.
So let's go cut it up and have some brunch with our besties.
Let's go.
All right, cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Yay.